The V8 is back, everyone, in the 2026 Ram 1500, and on Allcarnews, we have had the pleasure to drive quite a few variations of this latest generation of the Ram 1500, from the top-tier tungsten, from the RHO, and now we have this 2026 Laramie with the HEMI V8 packed under the hood here. Now, of course, we're going to go in a full in-depth tour and review of this 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie, see all the interesting, cool, unique features that this one has spec'd on it, and of course, talk about this V8 engine that Ram has brought back under some new leadership over at Stellantis. And it's interesting, it's because this engine isn't as widely available as you may think. Nonetheless, let's go dive in. So yes, guys, the HEMI V8 is back in the Ram 1500 family, and now, of course, you can get it in sort of two-ish flavors. The main flavor that's going to be available to most of us will be this 5.7 liter HEMI V8 with only the eTorque 48-volt mild hybrid system. You cannot get this engine now without this 48-volt mild hybrid system, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It's a great attachment to this engine. Now, in total, we're getting around 395 horsepower and around 410-ish pound-feet of torque. That 48-volt electric kind of starter generator system does add a little bit more extra torque on initial launches as well. I think around a little over 100 pound-feet, which is quite nice. Now, getting this engine is actually a little bit interesting. It's only offered on a few select trims of the 1500 lineup. You can't get it on the tungsten, obviously the RHO, or I believe the limited as well, but I'll put the exact models where you can and can't get it in this box above me right here. But this is a pretty still nice engine. You can tow up to around over 11,300 pounds with the 3.92 to 1 rear end we have fitted on this particular Ram 1500. And honestly, this HEMI is really pretty good on fuel, which I wasn't really expecting. I actually got around almost 20 miles per gallon on the highway with this engine. It has this eTorque system. It also does offer cylinder deactivation, so it'll turn into like a V4 mode as well. And this is a pretty nice powertrain if you don't want to opt for the Hurricane Inline-6, which we do have to talk about as it is still available as well. And that engine in the high output format is, well, just a lot better than this HEMI V8. It's making 540 horsepower. Towing is just, I think, a little bit more than this HEMI V8 as well. It's a really good engine. We tested it over in the tungsten. The only big differences here is you're getting that V8 sound and grunt here. It's a naturally aspirated engine as well, so you have a lot more revs to kind of go out through in the rev range. And of course, all of the V8s, when you are getting one in your Ram, it will come standard with a sports exhaust sound, so you'll really be able to hear those around 81 decibels of sound wherever you go, which is quite nice and a little bit of obnoxious in some cases. But another caveat to the system is that, yes, it's paired to the 8-speed automatic gearbox. You can only get this engine when you opt for the 4x4. And putting this engine back into this latest generation of the Ram 1500 was actually not the most easy of a task. See, this latest generation 1500, when it debuted just a few years ago with the full Inline-6 Hurricane engine lineup and the Pentastar V6, it actually offered an all-new electrical architecture throughout the entire vehicle, which initially this engine was not a part of. So when this engine did debut, they did have to recalibrate this vehicle with 13 different modules to make this engine fit into the system. So yes, it was a little bit of a hassle, but they were able to do so. Now, on the visual standpoint, we do have the Laramie edition of the Ram 1500, and there are so many different trims and packages within those trims that you really can get your 1500 really however you like. This is kind of a mid-tier specification of the Ram 1500. It starts at around $63,000. This one is $80,000, which is quite a large increase from that base price, but it has so many options. And this is just one fascia you can get on a Laramie. There's like a sport package, there's a blacked out night package as well, and I believe a Southwest edition as well. So this one is just like a pure Laramie design specs. We have this nice bright chrome work front grille over here, bright grille itself as well, and a large thick metal bumper down here. We have integrated LED headlights up here, as well as LED fog lights as well down there. Now, my personal opinion, there are nicer headlights you can get on a Ram 1500 if you step up a few trims. That's really only though if you really care for looks. Otherwise, they're pretty fine headlights, pretty bright at night. I don't think there's any issues with them. This is the bright white exterior as well. We're also getting the extendable power mirrors as well for our trailer packages, and these are in the bright chrome work finish as well. So lots of chrome, very bright theme on this vehicle, but then again, you can get this really however you want it with a whole host of colors, grille options, chrome or black options. You really have a lot of choice here in the Ram lineup. Now coming over to the wheel and tire section over here, there are actually 2 wheel and tire options you can get on this vehicle. This is one of them. This is the 20-inch kind of multicolor kind of machine chrome and dark finished wheel over here. There's also a completely darker forged aluminum wheel, I believe, as well. I think these are totally fine. They definitely fit the specification of this Ram 1500 Laramie design package. But honestly, that's not the most interesting stuff happening on the side of this vehicle. We have this specific badge right here, which Ram calls the badge of protest. I don't really know what that name's supposed to be meaning. Protesting electrification, maybe, even though there is the rev version of this vehicle which is coming that has a massive battery pack and a Pentastar V6. I'm actually really looking forward to that. But it's a really cool badge nonetheless. It has like a ram head in it and the V8 engine. I think it's really nice. Otherwise, this vehicle does not come with the optional adaptive air suspension, which you can actually get. But I honestly don't think you really need it unless you really want some, specific leveling with your rear end, or you want to have that ride height adjustability, maybe with the off-road pack, which this one also doesn't have. But this normal suspension setup on the Ram 1500 is really, really great. I've driven the adaptive air suspension in the tungsten model, and of course the RHO has its own crazy off-road focused setup without air suspension, but that's also really comfortable as well. And so is this one. This handles really great on the road. This specific, I believe this is an all-season tire we have on this particular one. Really, really great on this vehicle. Good with traction in all weather conditions. We have some snow and ice going on here. And it also is really quiet and very smooth on the highway as well. And getting up to 20 mpg on this vehicle without towing is pretty good with a 5.7 liter HEMI V8 under the hood. Coming down the side of our Ram 1500 Laramie, we're also getting the 33-gallon fuel tank option on this particular one. Now, like I said, this car also has an insane amount of options on that, and the back of it looks like a Ram 1500. Now again, this can all change with it depending on the trim you get. These are actually not the most advanced taillights you can get on a Ram 1500, and this one is also getting our deployable bed step right over here. You just push it down like that. That's a pretty handy feature, and you can knock that away really easily. Coming over to our rear end as well, you can see we have the optional tonneau cover, and the other thing, like I mentioned, is the V8 can only be had with this particular bed length. You can't go with the longer 6-foot-plus bed length you can get on this particular Laramie edition. That's just how Ram is packaging these vehicles. Now, since we have an insane amount of towing options, pretty much almost every single one you can get on this vehicle. We have, of course, our tow hitch receiver back here, and we're getting a lot of great towing features as well. We have a trailer brake assist, we have trailer reverse steering assist as well in this vehicle, and really impressive camera systems that can be, auxiliary attached to your trailer. You can even have your digital rear view mirror work as a trailer side mirror as well. Amount of features on this car, we're also getting a very fancy power rear tailgate as well. So it power soft closes down, and on that side over there, we do have a button to lift it back up. This one is also getting, like I mentioned, this tonneau cover, which you can fold back, which reveals a full nice bed in here. And we're getting a spray-in bed liner as standard on this particular one, as well as a 115 volt AC outlet in the back over there as well, which is weather sealed, which is really nice. So that's going to be handy for plugging things in if you are working with this vehicle, need to use some accessories or whatnot as well. And we're also getting some really nice and bright LED lights in here, as well as a nice amount of mounting points and a rack system as well. And of course, as it's a pickup truck and with Ram's own built-in accessories, there are just a truly endless amount of options and ways you can customize this vehicle for your own needs and liking, which is really great. And again, like I mentioned, just press this little button right here and that will fold right back up into place, nice and easy for you. But on the interior of this vehicle is really nice, and I have to say the Ram interiors are some of the nicest interiors of pickup trucks you're going to find when you opt for them with a nice luxury spec. And coming open to this rear door over here on this crew cab, you can just see how much insane amounts of space you have in the back of this vehicle. And with this upgraded upgraded interior packages we have on this particular one, it inches closer and closer towards what you can get in like the limited or a tungsten 1500. So just check out this door panel over here. This is pretty nice. You have this really nice kind of dark brown and sea salt caramel style pattern we have over here. Upper stitching, contrast stitching, nice big beefy door handles over here. We have this micro suede material as well, and all this really nice storage pockets, all from a nice grab handle up here. We're going to find a nice big storage pocket over here, and even on the lower door panel over here, a nice big storage pocket for like a cup and some other additional stuff here, as well as our large Harman Kardon speaker in this vehicle as well. But also, check out how wide our opening is to get in and out of this 1500 as well. So really great and spacious stuff. Let's go hop inside. But before hopping inside, we gotta talk about all the insane amount of storage stuff over here. So all of these seats can fold up to reveal a whole bunch of storage underneath there, which is really useful. Or if you need to, shove something really large in the back of the vehicle, you can do so as well. But you also get some really cool stuff hidden under this carpet over here. We're gonna find another storage cubby over here, which is also quite nice. Easter eggs, we got a little ruler measurement kind of design on here as well. But again, lots of great storage solutions in a Ram 1500. Now hopping inside, we do have a grab handle right up here if we do need. Getting in, and you're just gonna get so much insane amount of space in this crew cab. Closing up the door, nice solid funk there. We're getting rear privacy glass on this one. And yeah, you can just stretch out in this interior. This is my driving position, for example, but rear passengers are never going to have an issue in the back of this Ram 1500. We're getting storage cubbies on the backs of both front driver and passenger seats, which is nice. And down here, we're getting some really nice amenities such as outbound heated rear seats, 2 USB-C and USB-A ports, as well as another 115 volt outlet back here, which is really nice. Our own air vents. So yeah, lots of great space back here. Again, huge center tunnel, and we even get a lot of nice features in the center. So opening up our center console over here, fold it down, you're going to see you have this really nice built-in center console area. So again, 2 cup holders again. So now you got 4 cup holders on the back seats and then 2 cup holders on the door. So this is a really nice vehicle if you got a lot of cups. And I love this nice stitched center armrest over here. Opening this up, you get your own center console storage as well. So yeah, you're going to have a decked out time in the back of this Ram 1500 Laramie. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable. Nice, big, open, larger lower seat portion. We have this kind of rough style textured fabric material over here, blended with this perforated leather design here. This one does not, though, have a sunroof at all. So you can option a large panoramic glass sunroof, which I would, but it's still pretty roomy in here. We also are getting a nice big LED interior light over here, which is nice. And you can see there are speakers all around us in this vehicle with this upgraded Harman Kardon audio system. But yeah, this is a really great time in the back of the Ram 1500. You just have oodles and oodles of space. But let's go hop up front, because that is the real business end of this truck. Now hopping up front in our 1500 Laramie, again, even on this front door section, which we do have keyless access, and I have to point out, digital key that will work with your Apple Wallet, or I believe other softwares as well, which is really cool to see on a pickup truck these days. Opening up our door here, you also are getting a really large and colossal front opening, and the door panels as well are just as nice as we're seeing on the rear, if not a little bit nicer. We're actually getting some of that open pore wood trim up here as well, with that nice micro suede style design and all this really great areas for storage, like up here, these 2 large cup holders in the door bin over here as well, some additional storage. Continuing with the theme of this kind of sea salt caramel-esque design in here, we have a brown trim all around the vehicle, brown carpeting in here as well. And down here, we're going to find some great features like adjustable pedals, as well as access to turn on and off our 115 volt AC outlet in our bed. And we also are getting great automatic lighting controls as well. And again, really nice big comfy seats over here that do have lumbar adjustment and power adjustment. Getting in, we also do have a grab handle up here as well, which is nice solid funk from the door. And let's turn on the vehicle and hear that HEMI V8 start up. Okay, everyone, welcome now to the interior of the 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie. And like I mentioned, this is not a normal Laramie. This is a fully loaded Laramie in that aspect. We have like 20 grand in options. So you may not see some things in here if you're looking at an entry-level version of a Laramie. For example, this steering wheel is really nice, stitched in this nice brown leather. we're getting a few interesting things on here. So we're going to find our drive mode selector over here, which is going to give us a few different drive modes. And over here, we're going to find our controls for our digital cluster, our full digital cluster, which is an option. You don't get this standard actually. So you can actually kind of do this weird style card view over here, which I'm not particularly a huge fan of. Or you can kind of go to this more normal view here and cycle through an endless amount of different settings. This one's also getting our hands-free driving assist system. So we have a little steering wheel with a RAM icon there, which enables that hands-free driving assist on selected highways and interstates. Otherwise, you get fully adaptive cruise control with link centering assist as well, which is really nice. And we have a little infrared sensor up here to monitor your eyes for both driver attention awareness, which you can disable, I believe, and that hands-free driving assistance system. And since this is a highly spec'd one, we are getting this heads-up display in this particular one. And up here, this really nice binnacle. So we have additional storage over here. I believe a cigarette-style outlet, which is nice. RAM logo and this nice open-pore wood trim, which looks quite nice in here. And again, you can just see speakers all throughout this vehicle. And of course, we have our trailer side mirrors over here. So there's just so much adjustment. We can power adjust both the upper and lower mirror. We have available lighting as well, which I believe we can turn on from these little panels over here. Of course, that'll be better visible at night. You can kind of see that turning on and off on there. Otherwise, there's also some really great features in here, such as heated seats. So we have heated seats as well as ventilated seats in this one, 3-stage heating, 3-stage ventilation, and even 3 stages for our heated steering wheel, which is really nice. And we're getting our dial style shifter over here, which is metal, which feels quite nice. Not sure if you can hear that on camera there. And since we have our all-wheel 4-wheel drive system, we have selectable 4-wheel drive from 2-wheel drive, 4 auto, 4 high, 4 low. And if you would like, you can disable your eTorque system, but it's so smooth, so instant, there's no need. It's really going to save you fuel, and it's not annoying as well. So I don't think you really need to turn it off. Just try it. If you don't like it, I guess you can. Other stuff down here, we have a massive center console storage space. All the Rams pretty much got this, except for the RHO, which has a regular shifter over here, so it gets a little bit of a different center console. Here we get a huge Ram logo in the center of this armrest over here, which is stitched. Opening this up on the first level, we're going to reveal this massive felt-lined center console storage space. But if we close this and then open it up again, we're going to reveal an even larger amount of space down here. And I love these little Easter eggs that Ram puts on the underside of this. It's like a whole bunch of different interesting measurement stuff here, which is kind of cool. But this center area is just really usable. We have a huge amount of space right there, and this little floating piece over here also offers some space. We have coin storage as well as 2 large cup holders. But then we can slide this whole centerpiece back and reveal even more storage up here. You can even fit stuff underneath here as well, which is really nice. And here we're going to find yet another 115 volt ACL in this vehicle. So that's now 3, I believe you're able to find. And 2 wireless phone chargers over here, which is really great. And here's a little icon here if you need to put like a digital key card or key card for your phone. You put that one on this particular space over there to turn on the vehicle. We're also getting a crazy amount of power outlets up here. So 3 USB-C ports, 3 USB-A ports, and an HDMI port over here for our passenger screen, which we'll take a look at in just a little bit. So yeah, there's a crazy amount of stuff in here in terms of storage space and features. And we're getting another Easter egg down here of a whole bunch of historical Ram models and this little divider space down there, which is really cool. So again, lots of great features and Easter eggs throughout this cabin. Now also, which is a exclusive feature to this upgraded interior package, is the larger touchscreen. So there's a whole 3 levels of touchscreens I believe you can get in the Ram. It works generally quite well. We have a lot of physical controls over here for our air conditioning and fan control as well, which is nice. Even on this side as well, and easy access buttons to turn off our lane keep assist, traction control, as well as a hazard switch up here, which is really nice as well. And you can even make shortcuts. So this one has shortcuts for all those same features as well. So you can really make that whatever you want. Nice physical volume knob over here as well, and a tune knob which also can function as almost like a scroll wheel controller. If you're using Apple CarPlay, you can use this to kind of get through the infotainment system rather than touching it. Down here, we're going to find a lot of our additional trailering controls over here. So we have a trailer brake control system over here, which shows up on our digital cluster up here, as you can see. And we're also getting our trailer steering assist. So this is really cool, actually. So you can actually steer the trailer via this knob over here. So you kind of just control the gas and the brake, take your hands off the steering wheel when this is activated, and use this knob to control your trailer. And of course, you're going to have all those cameras over here assisting you to see what's going on with that. pretty cool stuff. Quick access to turn on and off our front and rear parking sensors as well. So all digital buttons, but they're always here in the same spot. Of course, we're getting our built-in navigation system, as you can see here, but we also can get Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto in here as well. And it's just a massive, massive, massive map you get in this vehicle. It's actually quite responsive. It's a pretty good system actually, but of course you can use whatever you want since we have phone projection here. Thank you, Ram, for not removing that from your vehicles. We have a whole vehicle page in here as well, so you can kind of go through all these different systems. You have additional towing and trailer pages. We have a quick access button we have up here, which you can customize, or down here, but I wish there was a physical camera button. This is a gripe for all Stellantis vehicles. I think they need a physical camera button, but like I mentioned, you can make it a digital one if you need it in a shortcut. But you can just see how many camera views we can get in this truck, and it's nuts. So we get a top-down 360 view, right? We're also getting a rear view. Then we can kind of zoom in on the rear, zoom in on the front to go even more focused on the front. We can go a top-down trailer hitch view. We have auxiliary views as well. And then you can go to the more camera view section. If we press this button here, you can favorite different views because there are so many. We have a trailer reverse guidance view, which uses the rear side cameras, I believe, as well. And you kind of focus on specific sides if you really need to focus on that as well. If you go to our more cameras button here, you can just start scrolling through and there's just more and more. There's curb views. It's nuts. So if you're really never going to be able to, I guess, crash this vehicle in some sense if you're reversing or in any kind of situation, just because how many different camera views there are. And another great feature which you can turn on or off in this truck, I'm going to put it into drive just for a second, is we have a turn signal cameras as well. So if I turn on my left turn signal, our left turn signal blind spot pops up. Same thing with our right turn signal, that will pop up as well. So that's a really useful feature. And thankfully, we also are getting a digital rear view mirror in this particular truck as well, which you can make a regular mirror, of course, if you need. Otherwise, this is super, super useful, specifically in this truck. And specifically if you're towing, because you do get specific towing views in this mirror as well that will actually split screen this to give you additional side views. So really great, useful features actually in this truck that Ram has integrated. And overall, it's comfortable. You get a really great commanding driving position, and driving on the road itself is quite comfortable. Now hopping into our passenger side over here, we're going to find our passenger display. Now we've seen this now in 2 different Ram products we've had, and also over here lots of great space, even more storage solutions on the side panels over here on our doors, Laramie badge in here as well. And then we have the Ram passenger screen, which I have a few choice words for, but you can turn it on or off if you don't want to look at it. Otherwise, it kind of just blends into the dash. And here you can see now it is indeed on. Apologies for the glare we have here today, but you can't do too much with this particular screen. You can go home, as you can see here. You can swipe left and right. You can use the navigation. You can access some of the camera's views here. Otherwise, it may prompt you to open it up actually over there if you kind of go to some more selected views for rear view there, all that great stuff. They actually seem to have fixed this because in the last 2 Ram trucks that I was in, as you can see here, it kind of prompted it to go over there, which will then open it up in that screen. This was actually all really distorted. So that seems to be addressed now. Notifications, controls, yeah, that's about it. So unfortunately, the screen is kind of useless unless you plug in an HDMI source here into this little port over there, maybe like a, an Xbox or something. And you can literally do that here since you have a AC outlet, household style outlet over here, HDMI port, all this space. You could literally plug in like a Nintendo Switch or something and just literally play games on here. But otherwise, there's not much really you can do with this screen. Little snow on the hood today, which I cannot see because this car is white, but there you get a little taste of that wonderful HEMI V8 sound with the standard now sports exhaust system. Ram says this will deliver you around a 81 decibels of sound, which is pretty nice, and you can definitely hear it on the exterior. It's quite loud. But this car comes with a lot of other great, surprisingly fuel-saving features that I wasn't expecting to like this week, specifically the auto stop start, which is completely unintrusive in this vehicle thanks to the eTorque system. When it does activate, it's not like a starter motor starting it up, it's that instant belt starter generator, which instantly comes to life, which I really, really like. It doesn't really interrupt you whatsoever, but you do have a button right here to disable that if you so would like. We also have a sport mode, like I mentioned, somewhere in here, which does disable traction control. Kind of holds revs a little longer. It's surprisingly sporty, actually, but you know, there's a lot of different ways you can get a Ram 1500. This is not the most dynamic one. You're gonna want to go with an RHO, but then again, you can't get a V8. It's the standard suspension setup, which really actually is quite nice in this vehicle. I wasn't expecting it to like it as much this week as the other ones, but it's just as good as those. It really does handle well on the roads. You do notice a little bit more, you know, maybe some bumps from normal bumps and undulations in the road than an air suspension, but it's really quite refined, actually, quite well damped, you know, even for having the bed in the back and everything. Really well sorted out suspension setup on the Ram, so I do like that quite a lot. Steering on these vehicles, obviously this is a pickup truck, a larger pickup truck as well, so you're not going to be expecting any sort of dynamic steering, but it's more direct and precise than I was expecting. Obviously there's not a lot of whole feel going on here, but it's pretty well controlled. This truck drives a lot more car-like than I was still going to be expecting. And with this engine, that really nice, smooth power delivery with the HEMI V8 really all comes together quite well. Now, if I pop it over to, and I might have to take a while to find it, here it is, our efficiency page here. This tells us some fun things. So if you're going to see Eco on here right now, that means it's in 4-cylinder mode, and you have a little 4-cylinder icon up there. So it's using cylinder deactivation right now. And the second I kind of get on it a little bit, that goes away instantly. You really will never notice that that's on unless you are looking at the screen, actually. Really great sounds coming out of this truck. Otherwise though, it's really comfortable around town. My only gripe with this particular one, since we have pretty much every single towing package you can get on a Ram, are these mirrors, which are great for towing. Yes, they extend, they reverse, they have those dual levels to them, they're both heated, they have lights integrated into them, really advanced mirror systems, cameras all around, but they create such a large blind spot in your side views. So if you are not towing extremely frequently, I do not recommend getting these mirrors whatsoever. Otherwise, you know, I think they'll be beneficial to you, and you have a lot of great cameras and stuff for towing that are even up in this digital rear view camera as well, which is a really cool feature actually. It kind of does like a split view there. And this is the one dangerous part about getting a Hemi, is that you're always going to want to step on it because it sounds so good. That nice V8 rumble underneath you. They really did not mess around with the sound in this truck whatsoever. It's straight into that nice signature Hemi sounds all the time. That sports exhaust will always let you know you have a Hemi as well. They really did a good job in that sound department there in this truck. Wow, yeah, that's a beefy engine. I'm surprised about the more instant response in sport mode as well. It actually does make a difference. You feel a little bit more of that acceleration earlier on. It gives the HEMI V8 a little bit of some revs, and that eTorque system actually acts as a torque fill in some cases on those early on acceleration moments. You get like an additional like 100 pound-feet of torque, I think, around that area, which is of electric boost, which is actually quite nice. But while we're out here on the highway, I'm going to put this back into our auto mode, and this is where the Ram really also quite shines really well. So out on the highway, it's going to kind of enter that eco mode a little bit more often, as you're not always going to be fully on throttle all the time. So you'll have that more efficiency aspect to this truck. Now, some other really cool things about here, if you do pay up extra, like this one is fully configured, is this thing has what I called in the Ram Tungsten Ram Drive. In all reality, it's just hands-free driving assist, but I like to call it Ram Drive because the little icon on the steering wheel is a steering wheel with a gigantic Ram logo on it, but all it is adaptive lane keep assist, cruise control, lane centering, and hands-free mode as well. So right now I just activated our standard radar adaptive cruise control. There is a screen in here that will kind of demonstrate what's going on if I can find it. Here we go. Safety screen here, and then if I press this little icon right here, hands-free adaptive driving assist activated. Look at that. Now we don't have things like auto, oh wait, we do. I think, yeah. It just auto lane changed. Okay, I actually did not know it had that. So we have auto lane change as well. So this is actually the first time this week that feature has worked. It's doing it again, actually. Cool. So the thing about this hands-free drive system, unlike, you know, like Super Cruise or Ford's Blue Cruise, is I don't believe it works on as many highways and roads as those two other systems do. Though, as you can see, it does work really well. It worked really well in the Tungsten when we had that almost 2 years ago now. So really no complaints there. It's pretty confident in its actions. It will alert you if you're not looking at the road. If I turn away for just a second, or if I cover this infrared sensor that's staring at my face, it will probably start yelling at me, please look forward, to re-enable hands-free driving assist. I get vibrations in my butt as well. So yeah, pretty safe system here actually. Yeah, this thing handles surprisingly well, and I think that all comes from the RHO and the TRX's, you know, learnings and developments. I mean, the 1500's always been a really great truck architecture. I think one of the best interiors in class as well, and overall, I think one of the best rides on the road. I believe it's the only one still you can option with a full adaptive air suspension in addition to that. Yeah, this has such great linear power. It's so great to be in a naturally aspirated engine again. One more time. Oh, I love that. You know, it's a huge difference than driving the Hurricane engines, because you get that insane amount of crazy turbo boost, extremely low end down, and that you know, RPM range, like around like 2,000 RPM, you're getting crazy amounts of torque. You hear those like turbo spooling up, and you just are thrown back into your seat and launch away. But it only revs to around like 5,500, 6,000 RPM maybe before it starts shifting. This just keeps going all the way up to like almost like 7. It has a nice, you know, naturally aspirated engine sound and feel to it, which I do really appreciate. And I'm just happy we have more choices, I think, in the automotive lineup now, instead of being restricted to just a few, you know, engines right there. But this has been a really great week with the Ram 1500 with the HEMI returned. Would I have it in this particular configuration? I don't know, because you can only get this engine in a few specific trim. Yeah, it handles bumps really well. So well damped and smoothed out. You don't feel any sort of crashing whatsoever in this just regular Ram suspension. Really impressive stuff here, actually. Have a quick listen to our audio test track here, guys. 19 speakers again in this Harman Kardon audio system. I have to say, quite impressive. It gets really loud, and I like how it gets really loud and does not start distorting the audio as well. So really great stuff here. If you go for a Tungsten or maybe a Limited, I believe as well, you can get some higher end audio systems in this truck, which also sound just absolutely ridiculous and have way too many amounts of adjustment to them. But this is pretty good actually for a upgraded, more premium Harman Kardon audio system. I was quite impressed with that over the course of this week. So yeah, otherwise, really great truck. Would I option this particular one the way it is up to 80 grand? I don't know. I think I would look at just going straight into the Limited if I wanted something more luxurious, or just keeping this Laramie a little bit more focused spec'd on some more of the key options you can get in this particular group, and keep it, you know, under maybe 70 grand, since this vehicle does start at 63 grand as a Laramie. But you have a lot of room to play around with in the Ram configurator and lineup. So the options are truly endless. As always, guys, though, thank you for joining us on yet another tour and review over at Allcarnews. And as always, stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.